Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
All right, Purple Daily. It's on Event Line Sunday. It is a Sports Dad and Dex Sunday, though. What's going on, everyone? Hit that like button, subscribe button here. I am back from vacay. Phil is still day-to-day at points with the voice, from what I heard. How did he do on Flagrant Howls last night?
Good. He is in very NBA type fashion, load managing.
Load management. Oh.
So yeah, he is. It's improved a bit, but you can tell towards the end of each show it's sort of stressed out a little bit. So I think he decided to not play. Like today, we're playing the Hawks or something.
Sure.
Or
sure, I can see that. Yeah.
The Wizards. So he's just not going to play.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I get it. No, I mean, the Twins are winning like crazy right now. They're on a crazy winning streak.
You leave and they go.
I leave.
Nuts.
They have their best stretch of the season, so that's always a good sign. This is similar. Vacky's just going to push his start back a day. They're playing the White Sox, for example. He doesn't want to pitch on Sunday against the Sox. I know they get the Giants today, but Judd has some observations though from rookie minicamp that we're going to get to here in just a bit. Hit that like button and subscribe button here on Purple Daily, where we want to see the Vikings win a Super Bowl before we die. But a shout out to Standard Heating. Record highs this week in the Twin Cities. We got a record high that's coming here on Sunday. More warm weather on the way. Don't wait for that AC to go on the fritz the worst possible time. Contact Standard Heating and Air instead. Join their Smart Club. Gives you priority bookings. Gives you discount on repairs. Don't DIY this type of stuff. You want Standard Heating. You want the professionals to handle it. So go to standardheating.com to learn more. All right, Judd. So Friday rookie minicamp, correct? You were present for that?
Yes. Yeah. It was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but we got a day of access, and that was on Friday afternoon.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
So here's what we got.
All right.
I'm going to set the scene, first of all, because it's probably important. There are some teams that in their 3-day rookie camp that they're allowed go a little bit harder, like they'll do team drills. Now you can't have it be knockdown, drag out, hitting, but they'll do team drills more so. The offensive and defensive lines will participate with the entire team, and so then it's 11 on 11 more so. The Vikings probably very wisely do not do that because they do not want it to become physical enough potentially because UDFAs and tryout guys are trying to make the team. The Vikings want to shy away from inviting, I think, their draft picks or their more highly paid UDFA guys from getting hurt.
Sure.
So what they do is they have the offensive line and defensive line work with those position coaches on moves off to the side. So they're working, but they're not in with the other teams. So the most that we see is 7-on-7. It's a lot of individual stuff, and then it goes to 7-on-7, but that's the most competitive. This is a long way of saying that Donovan Jackson, the first-round pick, basically works with the linemen, his O-line group, but we don't see anything that can lead to a sports day conclusion of, well, he looked real good, or, oh my gosh, it's time to panic. So he is first-round pick. He's very important. He's going to start at left guard, but that being said, this camp was not the camp for me to observe him and tell you, oh, I saw a ton of stuff. So what we did have was 7-on-7 drills towards the second half of the practice. And Max Brosmer, the former Gopher quarterback, who was paid, for a UDFA pretty well to come in, he got the majority of the reps. The other kid playing quarterback was a tryout guy, Zach Zabrowski, who is a Woodbury kid.
Nice.
So he was on a tryout, though, so he didn't get a lot of work. Brosmer got the overwhelming majority of the snaps. And I want to go through his day a little bit because it's also going to dovetail into a pretty good day for a couple of defensive guys, or highlight plays, splash plays, Declan, if you will.
Ooh, all right.
Uh-huh. So Max threw in total on the day 8 passes. And he was, in the first session, he was 4 of 6. I asked Kevin O'Connell about his performance and what they liked about him afterwards. O'Connell did say what Doogie told us a couple of weeks ago, which was Brosmer first got on the radar actually in the Gophers Pro Day a year ago because he was not draft eligible, obviously, but he came in and threw. So he was the quarterback throwing to the receivers who were trying out or being scouted. And the Gophers liked him, the Vikings liked him. And the Vikings and the Gophers do have a relationship. Like Fleck comes and watches practice. So there's a dialogue there. And going into the pro day this year, the Vikings knew enough that Brosmer probably wouldn't be drafted, but they did sign him. So in the first part of the session, in his first 7-on-7 reps, he completed 4 of 6 passes, which was good. The only thing is, the 2 he didn't complete were picked off. Now, let's say this. These rookies come in, they don't know each other. They've done very, very limited, like, in-classroom work. So some of these picks can sometimes be pinned on the fact that a guy ran the wrong route, did something wrong. So it's not always the quarterback because it's not that cut and dry. But I want to talk about the picks because the picks were actually allowed other guys on the defensive side of the ball to impress. I'm going to give you a name here because he looks the part. He looks the part, and I wouldn't be surprised if he pushed for a job.
Okay.
Undrafted free agent, Zemaiah Vaughn out of Utah. First of all, the particulars on him are 6'3", 187 pounds. If that doesn't sound like a cornerback, I don't know what does. So he's got some length to him. He had, in 5 years with the Utes, he had 3 picks. But he had a very nice pick on Brosmer on Friday. I went and looked. Our guy Thor, the draft expert.
That's right.
Thor Nystrom in Fantasy Life had Zemaiah Vaughn ranked as cornerback 47. And here's an interesting nugget about him, like as far as the athletic abilities go. He was a high school quarterback in Beaumont, Texas. And, of course, Texas high school football is probably the equivalent of our high school hockey here in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So he just looked the part, and it brought back to me, if you go back a year now, undrafted free agent came to the same camp by the name of Dwight McLaughlin.
Yeah, my guy.
He had played at LSU. He had played at Arkansas. And he made the 53. So, just throwing it out there. Keep your eye on Zemaiah Vaughn. Now, if you want a number, he was wearing in this particular camp 34.
34, yeah.
But, don't dismiss this. These guys do make the team. The UDFAs do make the team, the tryout guys. It's harder, but they do sometimes. But that was play number 1 of the day defensively that caught my eye. In part because he picked up the ball, but also in part because that's the type of size and type of frame. And if he could play special teams, I don't know he's going to push McLaughlin, but there are cornerback positions right now open. So Zemaiah Vaughn is highlight number 1.
Yeah, he also, Vaughn walked on the team in the fall of 2020. So he was a walk-on. Played in 4 games, including seeing action on defense against Washington State. In 2024, started all 12 games at cornerback, logging 40 tackles, had 1 interception, 6 passes defended. His 31 consecutive starts rank 3rd among active Big 12 defensive backs at the end of 2024 season. So a guy that went from a college walk-on to maybe one of the more productive cornerbacks in his college conference, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. And on Thursday, we can get the entire breakdown of his entire life from Thor. So that's defensive highlight 1 on a pick of Max Brosmer, who again, by the way, looked good. Like he did look good. This is not to denigrate him.
I don't know. You kind of moved on from it quick.
I'm going to go back to him. I'm going to go back to him, but the pick stood out to me.
Okay.
All I can do is jot down my notes in my sports dad notebook right here and bring to you what I saw. Okay. Interception number 2. Which was, these were actually on back-to-back passes. So Brosmer completed his first pass, his second pass, was picked off on his third pass, was picked off on his fourth pass. Interception number 2 comes from 6th-round linebacker out of Penn State, Kobe King. Oh, yeah. Now, what's interesting is I looked it up this morning, and in 46 games, 4 years with the Nittany Lions, Kobe King had 0 picks. But he actually stepped in front of the pass here, and he theoretically, if it had been sort of a game, he housed it. It was a pick six. Kobe King. He's 6'1", so he's not big. He's not huge. 236. He did have 3 sacks last season. It's a 6th round pick, so I don't know if he's competing for a roster spot, if he's competing for a practice squad spot. I mean, initially, obviously, he will be trying to compete for a roster spot on the 53. But Kobe King, for a guy who had 0 picks in college, showed some instinctual football abilities there with that pick. So Zemaiah Vaughn and Kobe King had your 2 splash defensive plays in a practice in which there weren't really going to be a lot of splash plays. They had your 2 splash defensive plays of the day on Friday.
Yeah, King also last year, according to PFF, was really good. I believe in run coverage is where he really excelled too. So he was very good against the run, something that obviously the Vikings have to be better at, trying to slow down the run a little bit. Yeah, he was one of the more productive players in that. He also has a brother, I believe, Kalen King, correct? I think he has potentially a brother there as well. But a 90.8 grade since 2023. That's second among linebackers against the run. I know you're highlighting the pick, but so even though he fell all the way to 201, he was one of the better run defensive players and second best among all linebackers in college football last year.
So he's got a little bit of an Ivan Pace feel to him, because Pace is also good against the run. Pace is really not good against the pass. But this was good against the pass. So I'm throwing it out there. You 2 positive plays here. I do want to go back to Brosmer because I don't know. I mean, I've been hypothetically speculating, spitballing if he could compete for the 3rd QB job. Right now, that's probably a long shot. But I do think that the Vikings like his abilities. I think they like his mental makeup. We saw him, if you watched the Gophers at all last season, play quite a bit, and he had a very good year. There's a confidence there, and there's an ability there that I don't know if it translates directly to the pro game, but I think it definitely has a shot. And so he completed 4 6 passes in his first 7-on-7. He completed 1 of 2 in the second, but that included a drop as well that was not good. So it should have been 2 of 2. And again, in these camps, there's so little time to like prep for like the game planning or the practice planning for the scripts that it's always a chance that a guy runs the wrong route. There's a good chance a guy drops a pass. So Max Brosmer, definitely, I am more emboldened in saying now than ever, definitely worth keeping an eye on when training camp starts. Don't think he's going to get a lot of snaps, but I do think that he is, if nothing else, with what they paid him, he's for sure going to the practice squad. And it will be interesting to see if they give him, sort of behind the scenes, an opportunity to push Brett Rippon for the 3rd job at all.
What's the most important thing for a guy like Brosmer to prove here in rookie minicamp? Or maybe a better way to phrase it is, what are the Vikings looking to probably see from someone like Brosmer? Obviously, to your point, they're not going to be putting, their starters like Donovan Jackson or some of their higher grade guys in 11-on-11s. This is 7-on-7 drills. What would you, in your former lead beat writer days, when these rookie mini camps roll around, what is the team actually looking for here? What's trying to stand out for them?
Well, I think in the case of O'Connell, because he's such a quarterback nerd, that he probably has a very specific set of things that he looks for. Now, I think he also, here's the thing. They know what Brosmer can do. They know exactly from the film what they want to improve on. They know what they liked. They know that he could spin the ball a bit, as the football people say. So I think what they also like, though, is the opportunity to get a guy in the building to see how he reacts to things on the field, i.e. throwing a pick. Do you bounce right back?
Yeah.
In the classroom, how does he process things? Because, this is not a guy who, if he makes the team, is going to have to play. Like the Jaron Hall thing with Cousins went sideways. Ideally, he would not have ever played in his rookie season. But Max Brosmer, if he makes the team as the 3rd QB, or more likely as a practice squad guy, is never going to have to play. So I think what teams do here, especially a guy like O'Connell who sort of collects quarterbacks, is they want to see if it's a guy that they can develop, how open that guy is to learning, And I think Brosmer, everything that I've heard, he's got all of those traits. I mean, he stepped in with the Gophers and was a leader, did a lot of good things. Now, he played immediately and played well. But I do think that, like, if to your question, I think there's a difference between what Kevin O'Connell looks for and like what the Zimmer Vikings looked for. I think that they had OC, they had an offensive coordinator, a quarterbacks coach, and those guys were looking for things. But because O'Connell is the one of the final decisions, I think it becomes more important. And there's no doubt in my mind that the Vikings now, when they look at quarterback stacks, they have a much better idea of exactly what they think can work and can't work. And I don't think they pay Brosmer like they did to sign here if they didn't think that he was a really good developmental type of guy.
Yeah, and that's all you can really ask for here. If there's something there, Brosmer starts to push, and let's be honest, unfortunately, injuries tend to happen in training camp. Heaven forbid something significant happens to a Brett Rippon or even a Sam Howell, and I'm not even going to say the other quarterback that could get injured because I'm not putting that in the ether. But having Brosmer in the building early, learning all that stuff, I think is also really important. And the connection between the Gophers and the Vikings, him basically playing, you could call it down the street from US Bank Stadium. They're familiar and they get a good scouting report. Before Judd gives some more rookie minicamp observations, I also have another question for you, too. Shout out to Two Men and a Truck. Two Men and a Truck made this move possible. If it wasn't for them, I don't know if I would be able to pull this off. Thank God they were able to come here. They packed up everything. They got everything inside the house okay. They got everything. They made sure they took care of all of my items, which was important. What they quote is what you pay. No hidden fees, no service charges. They're awesome. Go hire them. Artie and David, my guys, they were awesome for me. So go to twomenandatruck.com to book and schedule that next move or to get rid of that unwanted junk. Self-reporting here, Judd. Did Kevin O'Connell acknowledge the sports dad by name when he was asking him questions on Friday?
No, I asked a question. I think I asked one. It might have been two. I think it was one. And no, we did not get any Judds.
Did he throw out any other names? Did he like Kevin or Andrew or Ben? Did he throw out any? Did he acknowledge any other names?
I don't think he threw out a name. Just started off by saying, "Good to see you," which I always love.
Good to see you.
It's like we haven't seen each other for a while. So just great stuff. But no, I don't think he did. So yes, no, definitely.
Okay.
Sports dad not acknowledged, but by name. Ego just devastated.
Oh yeah, no,
I was devastated. I was devastated.
Yep.
All right, some final notes for you. Just housekeeping here, really. So Trey Stewart, who is the running back, and I think we talked about him somewhere because he was, when the Vikings didn't draft a running back, Trey Stewart is the Jacksonville State UDFA that they brought in. He did not participate. Don't know why. He was on the field, but he did not take part in practice. He did not take part in drills. So teams are under no, they do not have to report injuries at this point in time. Now, full disclosure, we didn't ask. I probably should have. I just forgot to ask. But Trey Stewart didn't take part. So that's the guy that I think if you are looking at the running backs, the potential for guys who have been brought index, he has a chance. The other guy that they have brought in from Utah, let's see here. The other guy that they have brought in, signed as a free agent last year and has been around is Xavier Scott. He was participating. So housekeeping on the running backs, that's one. I got a bunch of notes here. Housekeeping 2. Friday was technically this weekend was the last day of phase 1. Phase 2 will start in Monday. Phase 2 means that OTAs start. The guys can get out on the field. Now, I did ask O'Connell after his presser. I said, explain this. I said, so phase 2 starts Monday. And he said, yeah, but he said they had the ability, and I didn't know this, but they had the ability to get the players on the field last week, but it's timed, which it is. This time of year, you can only have guys on the grass for so long. But I also didn't realize that you sort of cross over into phase 2 during phase 1, and you can take the offense and defense on the field, but it sounds like they can't be on the field at the same time. So you can do some work from, basically take the classroom install ideas out there, but you can't have the teams on the field at the same time or the units. So take that for what it's worth. But phase 2, which will get JJ McCarthy and the rest of the crew out on the field, is set to start on Monday. Let's see if I've got anything else. I think that might be it. I did keep an eye on Ty Felton, the wide receiver.
Yeah.
That one was harder to tell. I mean, he looks the part, but, there wasn't a lot of things there to sink my scouting eyes into. And the last one I think that people are going to ask about, just because it's a good story, Montego Moss, the son of Randy Moss, the wide receiver out of Maine, who's here on a tryout. He's got some size. He is 6'1", 220. He's got some size.
Okay.
These tryout guys, I think, unless they like one a lot and keep them around, the tryout guys will just disappear, though. So it'll be interesting to see if Moss then bounces to a different camp. What does happen, because not all of the teams hold their rookie camp on the same weekend, is you do get guys who will go play, like I think the Bengals had a camp the week before, and then they'll come to the Vikings camp. But Montego Moss was there, got his tryout. I don't know. I'm guessing it won't lead to much. But anyway, I figured people would ask about him.
Okay. All good stuff, man. We're
That's
excited.
all I got for you. I'm trying to go through these notes. A lot of notes. Just remember, Zemaiah Vaughn looks the part.
Zemaiah Vaughn?
Say that tomorrow.
Zemaiah Vaughn.
Water cooler, when people are like spitballing on the Vikings. If you watch the show, you can say, Zemaiah Vaughn looks the part. Where's number 34 right now?
Yeah, a lot of good stuff here coming up on Purple Daily. Obviously, the Wolves going on. Twins can't stop winning, I should say. They have stopped losing. They have stopped losing for right now.
Couldn't stop losing for a while either.
But plenty of packed stuff here at Score North and Purple Daily. We'll have the schedule release on Wednesday. We have a lot of good stuff coming up here. Thursday, Mackey, Judd, and Dex. Hopefully, speaking of doing 7-on-7s, hopefully we're running our first team offense for the first time all week next week. Well, I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens there too. But stay in the know. Hit the like button and the subscribe button here on Purple Daily. Shout out to all the moms too on Mother's Day. Our 5%ers, our 6%ers? I forget our analytics of our female fans. We appreciate you if you're a mom, or regardless if you have a mom. Shout out to all the great moms on Mother's Day here on Purple Daily. Purple Daily coming back tomorrow, though. Hottest takes, plenty of other good stuff coming at you. Talking at you soon.